We all have the same goal for retirement: create enough income to last us for the rest of our lives while still supporting our desired lifestyle. That goal is common to all of us, but there's more than one way to go about accomplishing that goal. That's why in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 different strategies you can use to create $10,000 per month in retirement income. Let's jump right in. Whether you use annuities or Social Security, standard investments, real estate, or more, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can create income in retirement. The most important thing to understand is which of these methods or combination of methods works best for you. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to say, based upon the goal of creating $10,000 per month of income, which strategies, based upon those common investments I just mentioned, can you use to create that $10,000 per month? The first option I want to look at today is purchasing an annuity. There's many different kinds of annuities. So what I'm going to focus on specifically is what's called a single premium immediate annuity. With a single premium immediate annuity, you're taking a lump sum and you are giving that money to an insurance company. In exchange, that insurance company is giving you an income stream that lasts for the rest of your life or for some predetermined period of time. You're entering into a contractual agreement between you and the insurance company where in exchange for that money, they're providing you income. And this is one common way that people create income in retirement. The question is, how much of that money do you need to give to them to create $10,000 per month in income in retirement? Well, the first thing we want to look at is to create $10,000 per month. It probably doesn't all have to come from the annuity. Chances are good that you probably have a Social Security benefit too. So let's look at it this way. The average Social Security benefit today in America is about $1,850 per month per person. So if you're single, you have $1,850 per month coming in. And if you're married, and both of you have that average benefit, you have $3,700 per month in income coming in. So when we're looking at the annuity doesn't need to create $10,000 per month in income. It needs to bridge the gap between what Social Security is bringing in and then the $10,000 per month in income. So what are those dollar amounts? Well, if you're single, you would need $8,150 per month of annuity income coming in to supplement the $1,850 per month that you have in Social Security, assuming, of course, average Social Security benefits. If you're married, you have more combined income coming in from Social Security, so you would need less income coming in from the annuity to create that same $10,000 per month. Now, I know if you're single and if you're married, all else being equal, your expenses probably aren't the same. I fully recognize that, but I just want to provide some consistency for the sake of this video here. So if you're married and you have $3,700 per month coming in from Social Security, you would then need $6,300 per month coming in from the annuity. So those are the numbers that we're looking at. If you're single, you need $8,150 from the annuity. If you're married, you need $6,300 from the annuity. So what I did here is I ran numbers. Assuming you are age 65, I wanted to know how much money would you need to give to an annuity company in exchange for those income amounts for the rest of your life. Well, if you're single, you would need $1,352,000 to purchase a single premium immediate annuity that would then give you $8,150 per month for the rest of your life. If you're married and you want a joint life annuity meaning it will last the longer of your life or your spouse's life, you would need $1,212 to create the income there. And that income, of course, is the $6,300 per month to supplement your Social Security benefits. So as we're looking at this option here of what amount of money do I need to purchase an annuity that, whether I'm single or married, can generate $10,000 per month of combined income when combined with Social Security, you're looking at somewhere between $1.2 million to $1.35 million in an annuity premium. So that's the amount that would require to generate that $10,000 per month. Now, there's pros and cons to this option. The pro is that annuity is guaranteed. So as long as that insurance company is solvent, you're going to receive those monthly payments. That's a really good feeling. You don't have to worry about what's going on in the market. You don't have to worry about managing your portfolio. You're just getting a paycheck once per month. That's one of the pros. The other pro to go along with that is peace of mind. The stock market is down 30, 40, 50%. Your annuity payment, assuming the annuity company is still solvent, your annuity payment is still being paid. The con, though, is that money is not indexed for inflation. So that $10,000 per month, that's great today, but as the cost of living goes up, your Social Security benefits will get a cost of living adjustment, but the portion that's coming from the annuity, that's not going to go up with inflation. So even though the dollar amount's going to remain consistent, your purchasing power is gradually going to be diminished. Another con is there's really no flexibility. The average person doesn't spend the same exact amount every single month throughout retirement, let alone any part of their lives. In some months, you might want more. In some months, maybe you don't need as much. That's perfectly normal and perfectly natural. But with an annuity, you're getting the same income stream month after month after month. So that lack of flexibility is something that needs to be taken into account. The second thing that you can do to create $10,000 per month in retirement is maximize Social Security. So the max benefit in 2024 that you can get from Social Security is $4,873 per month. Now, to get that max benefit, it means you've maxed out your Social Security earnings record for the last 35 years, or at least for 35 years total, and it means you waited until age 70. But if you do, then the income you receive from Social Security can be pretty significant. So $4,873 per month is a single benefit. If you're married and both spouses have maxed out their benefits, then that total income comes out to $9,746 per month. So now that's not quite $10,000, so I'm cheating here a little bit because we're talking about how do you create $10,000 per month in retirement, but it's close enough. And so if you both max out your Social Security benefit, you're pretty darn close to $10,000 per month in retirement. What are the pros of that strategy? Well, one of the benefits is many states don't tax Social Security, or if they do, it's to a reduced amount. So there's some real significant state tax benefits. And then even at the federal level, your full benefit is not included in your taxable income. So when you have income from Social Security, it's more tax advantageous than the equivalent amount of income from, say, a pension or an IRA distribution. Another benefit is there's a cost of living adjustment every year. So $10,000 per month, or almost $10,000 per month of income today, every year as inflation goes up, you're going to get a cost of living adjustment. So unlike the annuity, where you were locked in to a certain amount each month, Social Security is going to increase over time. So that allows you to maintain your purchasing power as the cost of everything gets higher and higher. Well, what are the cons of the strategy? Well, if you have no other assets, this strategy really requires that you work until the age of 70. Because if you don't have any other assets, you have nothing else to live on until Social Security kicks in. So doing this means you're working until 70. Doing this also means you need to have a pretty significant income over the course of your working career. Social Security looks at your 35 highest years of earnings, and based on those highest 35 years, if you've maxed them out, so if you've hit the Social Security wage base cap, then with that, you've maxed out your benefit. But it does require a lot of years of work, and it does require fairly significant income to max that out. Just for context, in 2024, you have to earn $168,600 to fully max out your Social Security wage base. Every year, that number goes up. So in 2004, 20 years ago, for example, that number was $87,900. So it goes up with inflation, but what you have to do is earn an amount of income that's certainly higher than the average American makes each year. What are some other cons? Well, number one, if one spouse passes away, your income gets cut in half. So if you both have the max benefit, there's really no survivor benefit to speak of because the surviving spouse is just going to continue collecting their own benefit. So if you're relying only on Social Security, then your income's going to get cut in half whenever one spouse passes away. Another downside is if you're single and want to create $10,000 per month, well, one single person could never do that with Social Security, at least not today, because the max benefit, like I said, that you can receive is at $4,873 per month. So to really take two benefits, and even then, you're not getting the full $10,000, you're getting just under it. So that's the second way you can create $10,000 per month, or at least almost $10,000 per month in retirement. Now, before I go on to number three, I want to give an honorable mention to real estate. And it really should be more than an honorable mention. The problem with real estate, or I should say the challenge with real estate, is it can look so different based upon how you're doing it and even what part of the country you're doing it in. Really, real estate could be its own video because there are so many factors and there are so many variables that determine what rate of return or what income might you expect from that. For one, different parts of the country have significantly different cap rates. For example, purchasing a rental property for $1 million in Pittsburgh versus a rental property for $1 million in San Jose, you're going to get significantly different incomes on each of those $1 million assets. So it's not just like a stock where you can say, okay, if you have a stock, are you getting a 2%, 3%, 4% dividend yield? It's going to be dramatically different based upon what part of the country are you purchasing that real estate and what's the cap rate for that real estate in that market. Then there's a question of how leveraged are you on that property? Are you leveraging 80% of the property, meaning you're borrowing 80% of the value to acquire it? Or are you paying cash or anywhere in between? Do you have a property manager that can help to take off some of the burden off of your plate, but it's also going to eat into the return that you can expect? So all these factors and more make real estate a difficult thing to say. If you're going to buy a property, then here's exactly how much you need to buy to create $10,000 per month of income. But I did at least want to mention it because it is a very common way and can be, if done correctly, a very effective way to create income in retirement. So setting real estate aside as an honorable mention in today's video, the third way that you can create $10,000 per month in retirement is through investing in a diversified portfolio. And not just investing in a diversified portfolio, but having the right withdrawal strategy from that diversified portfolio. The question, of course, is how much do you need to have in that portfolio to create the income that you need to live on $10,000 per month? So let's go through that exercise. And to start, we'll do the same thing that we did with the annuity of assuming, look, if you need $10,000 per month, chances are good some of that's come from Social Security. It's just the difference that needs to come from your portfolio. So let's assume the same numbers. If you're single, $1,850 per month in Social Security. If you're married, $3,700 per month in Social Security, using those average numbers for the basis of this example. Once again, just like in the annuity section, the withdrawal from your portfolio just needs to make up the difference. So if you're single, you need $8,150 per month from your portfolio to make up your Social Security income difference. If you're married, you need $6,300 per month from your portfolio withdrawal to make up Social Security or to supplement Social Security to create that $10,000 per month. So the key question here is, what do you divide that withdrawal by? So if I need $6,300 per month, for example, in the married example, well, how much of my portfolio can that represent? Now, generally a 4 to 5% withdrawal rate might be considered sustainable, depending on your age, depending on how long you need this money to last for you, and depending on how you're invested. But I'm going to use that as the basis of this example. And I'm going to use 5% to use a nice round number. Certainly no guarantee that your portfolio will create a 5% withdrawal for you indefinitely, but there's a lot of great research that indicates if you invest it the right way and manage your withdrawals the right way, 5% shouldn't be an unrealistic amount to assume that you can take out over the course of your retirement. So let's go to the single individual first. That single individual needs to create $8,150 per month of income. That $8,150 per month of income, that represents $97,800 on an annual basis. So the question is that $97,800 represents 5% of what bigger number? Well, that bigger number needs to be $1,956,000. And just to make sure I'm perfectly clear on how we're getting to that number, if you have $1,956, you take 5% of it. That then equals $97,800. If you divide $97,800 by 12, you get $8,150, which is the exact amount we need to add to our single Social Security benefit to get to $10,000 per month. Now, if you go through the same exact exercise for a married couple, they're going to need a smaller portfolio because there's more coming in from Social Security, which means there's less that needs to come from that portfolio. The number in that example is $1,512,000. So if you had $1.512 million in a portfolio, you could generate $6,300 per month, which represents a 5% withdrawal rate, and get to that $10,000 per month of income for that married couple. So what are the upsides to this solution? Well, first and foremost, adjust for inflation. Some of you might be watching and saying, wait a minute, if you're married with an investment portfolio, you need $1.512 million. But if you're married with the annuity, you only need $1,212,000. There's a difference of exactly $300,000 there, which leads me to believe the annuity must be better, right? Not necessarily. The annuity certainly requires less upfront to create that same income, but remember, the annuity does not adjust for inflation. So yes, $300,000 more dollars are required from the investment portfolio to create that initial withdrawal, but that initial withdrawal is designed to increase with inflation. So it's not truly an apples to apples consideration or comparison. Take a look at this. Let's assume that when you retire, you live for 30 more years. And in both cases, whether the annuity or the investment portfolio, you're taking $6,300 per month out, which is the amount needed if you're married. Let's then assume that the investment portfolio withdrawal increases by 3% per year, whereas the annuity stays exactly the same income forever. Well, the investment portfolio to get started required an additional $300,000 to generate the same starting income. But over the course of your retirement, the investment portfolio and the withdrawal from it actually put an extra $1.3 million in your pocket over the course of your retirement, simply due to the fact that it adjusted for inflation. It kept rising over time, whereas that annuity income stayed flat. So it may seem at first glance like, hey, the annuity is the better option here. Look at what it can do. As I mentioned, there's some real benefits and real positives to annuities, but this isn't one of them. Inflation adjustments isn't one of them. When you see that over the course of a standard retirement, the standard withdrawal from a standard portfolio can actually put a lot more dollars in your pocket. Another benefit is that it doesn't just adjust for inflation, but if things are good, then there's a pretty high likelihood that you can actually increase your spending above and beyond inflation. So we all want to know we're going to be okay. So we start by not taking too much out of our portfolio in those initial years, But we also want to know we can do more if the opportunity arises. Well, if you have a standard portfolio, using some of the withdrawal rules we've talked about before, well, there's a good chance you can actually give yourself a raise above and beyond inflation if things are going well, or at least not going totally wrong in the market and with inflation. The benefit that leads to is you can either spend more on yourself if you want to, or you might have a good chunk of money that you can leave to heirs if that's important to you. Now, the downsides, of course, to this approach is nothing's guaranteed. The market over time has done nothing but go up, despite some temporary short-term and painful downturns, but there's no guarantee that's going to continue going forward, and there never ever will be. So I would say probability is good, chances are pretty good, but absolutely not a guarantee. The second downside is even if I could hypothetically guarantee to you, look, over the next 30 years, a standard portfolio of stocks and bonds and the right combination of each is going to grow by, say, 8% per year or even 6% per year. Just because that was going to happen, just because you had that guarantee, hypothetically, doesn't mean you're not going to still go through plenty of ups and downs along the way. So even knowing that you're going to be okay over time does not insulate you from the craziness of those ups and downs and the uncertainty that you must accept as an investor in the meantime. So those are 3 strategies you can use to create $10,000 per month of income over the course of your retirement. Now, some people like to take this even further. I made this video here where I talk about how much do you need in your portfolio to solely live off just of the dividends. Some people don't like just taking a standard withdrawal. They want to know the dividend portion of their portfolio is creating all their needs. So take a look at the video I put up here where I walk through that of what's the lowest amount you need in your portfolio to fully live off dividends so you can start to understand how that might work. Once again, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Root Financial get the most out of life with their money, be sure to visit us at www.rootfinancialpartners.com.